but it's based in a lot of truths from our world today. And I actually have, that's what this article that I found is talking about, is like the
what
truth.
It's based on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that. But
okay. So if you're infertile in the book or in the show as a handmaid, what happens to you? Do you just get sent to one of those work camps?
Like, the handmaids are picked because like they've had children before, or like what was her name? Moira.
Yeah.
Had an abortion, so she got pregnant and then had an abortion before all of this happened. So they knew that she was capable of, like, they had medical records to, then they could figure out who was like able to have kids, and that's who they assigned to be handmaids. Like, I can't remember her name now, but the girl that Alexis Bledel plays, I can't remember her real name, or her assigned name, but she's a lesbian in the. Is she a lesbian in the book?
No, that doesn't come up.
Oh, really?
Actually, does it? I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. She's a lesbian in the show, and she has a wife, and her wife have a kid, and she was the one that, like, carried the child. Mm-hmm. And her wife is Canadian, and so when all of this is happening, her wife and her kid are allowed to cross the border into Canada, but they figure they like the border people kept asking her, like, are you the one who carried the child? Are you the one who carried the child? Like, really trying to pull out of her whether or not she was able to, like, have another kid. But
I see. When back to the wife, I think that the only reason she stays is because she feels like she has no choice. She can either stay with her husband as the wife, or what? She's infertile.
Well, but in the show, she helps present these ideas to society as, like, a new option. She helps develop the ideas behind Gilead. Like, before it even came to fruition, she was like, yeah, this is a good idea. Why would you do that?
So I see. So instead of just going along with it out of fear, she's actually helping.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, maybe she...
I think it was initially, like, a lot of it was her idea. Like, she wasn't... In the second season, they go into, like, the real mastermind behind the system. But, like, I think a lot of it was her idea.
Well, maybe she's just crazy and she actually believes that. Well,
they're, like, hyper-religious.
Yeah, so she probably actually believes it.
Yeah.
And it's just... She's probably been taught that.
What would you do?
Something. What would I do if I was her?
No, if this actually happened.
Run away to another country.
We've never, neither of us have ever had kids or anything to prove that we are childbearing, so we would probably be assigned as Marthas or something. Which are the maids.
I would try to get out as soon as I could. Well, I would try to leave the country.
But like we said, how would you know? You know, how would you know it's happening before it's too late?
The only way I would know is if my dad told me, because he would know.
All right, yeah, we'll keep close to Craig.
Yep. He would sense it with his spidey senses.
But, like, I think one of the ideas is, like, would you, if you were put in the position of, like, a handmaid, for example, or even just anyone who's in the system that doesn't just get to live life freely, would you try to resist, or would you just accept and live life? Because, like, I mean, you see what happens to people who resist. Get hands cut off, eyes cut out.
Ooh. So what are the different roles in the show? Handmaids?
So handmaids, Marthas, I don't know all of them.
What is a Martha?
Martha is like the maids, the people that work in the commanders' houses. And then I think they're just like regular people who like have regular jobs. Like they work at the market, they live their life on their own. But
so my first choice would be try to run away or get out, either leave the country or go live in the wilderness somewhere, just away from society.
Yeah. My
second choice would be to just accept my role, but secretly try to meet up with other rebellious people and plan some kind of
uprising.
Yes.
Which they try to do, which is kind of squashed. It seems like there's almost no hope. Like, Like, they had that little group that had, like, I can't remember the name of it, but they didn't actually do anything. It was essentially just, like, hold out hope. They were just all, like, being like, we're here for each other. Which I think I figured out that, like, none of the handmaids were like, yes, I'm doing God's work. Like, they were all like, no, screw this. We need to figure out how to get out of this situation.
Yeah. Well, you know from the end of the first book, like you said, that this system doesn't last forever, so obviously something happened to overthrow it.
It took 200 years, though.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. What I don't get is why no other country would have stepped in. Yeah.
Do you think other countries knew?
Yeah.
What they did?
Like in the show, I don't know if this happened in the book, but in the show, I can't remember where she was from. Spain? Mexico, maybe? She was like an ambassador, came to like observe how the society works. Like she literally came to visit. Okay. And then Waterford and his wife went to Canada to like chat with them there, and they were trying to explain like none of the other countries, because I hate making this comparison, but it's like North Korea, like no one really sees what goes on in there. They don't see, like, they never saw how horrible the conditions were for the people that lived there, so they were kind of like, oh well, like the system is strict and it's weird that they don't let people out, but like they are their own country, allowed to govern how they want.
That's true. And other countries would just be hesitant to try to...
For fear of retribution.
Yeah.
They're at war with what once was one of the biggest superpowers in the world.
Exactly. And are they not still a superpower?
I don't know, because I know that the U.S. government, like, essentially moves to Canada, and they still exist. Like, the United States of America still exists within Canada, but they don't do, like, the old government. I don't think they do anything. But
interesting.
But it's probably like they don't really know how bad it is, even though
I would like to think that someone would step in, but it's really hard to say. And with the U.S. being one of the most powerful countries, I just don't know if, like, how much are they willing to risk of their own countries.
Well, and it's not like they can just go in and, like, bomb the country, because there are innocents there. There's, like, I feel like it's not even that big, but there's, like, there's a small group of people who truly believe in the message of Gilead, and then everyone else is just like, well, I gotta pretend like I do, or else I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah, so what do? You would have to go after that small group of people, which is gonna be the hardest to get to. Yeah. And the hardest to overthrow. And
in the second season that I'm thinking about it, the handmaids do rebel. So they're asked to stone one of the other handmaids to death, because she, like, tried to jump off of a bridge with her baby, because she was like, this is my baby, whatever. And they are all like, no, like, we're not going to kill her. She's essentially our sister. And they all put their rocks down and walk away. And so, to, like, essentially teach them a lesson, the aunt, I can't remember what her name is, but the main aunt is, like, has them all taken... is this in the book? This might have been in the book. No, it was right after where it ends in the book. Okay. So they take them all, and they put these, like, they look like muzzles on them. Like,
I've seen a picture of it.
Like of that mask that, like, Hannibal Lecter wears across his mouth. They put them into vans, and they, like, essentially try to scare them they drop them all of them come out of a van, and there's, like, dogs, like, snapping at them and, like, hurting them, essentially. And they bring them into what used to be Fenway Park, and they line them up at the gallows, and there's, like, a noose for every person, and they put the ropes around their necks, and they pull the lever, and the thing just drops, like, an inch. And it was all just to scare them and be like, you can't rebel. Like, we will kill you. Yeah. Just because, like, you are fertile and there's not a lot of you doesn't mean we won't kill you. And it was just intense, and it was essentially like, so stop doing that.
Yeah, interesting. But I mean, yeah, at that point, I feel like I wouldn't be scared of death. No. I would be like, please kill me. But I would be scared of a torturous, slow death.
The Offred that came before June killed herself.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, is that in the book? So, like, there are people that took that option.
Yeah.
But it would almost feel like there's, like, no hope.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you had seen the second season, because there's a character in it that I'm really excited to see what he does in the third season. I think I explained him to you a little bit. I can't remember his name. But he's essentially the creator of the, like, how the society runs and all of the different roles in it and how they make money and stuff like that. But he doesn't believe in any of it. Secretly.
Oh.
And he helped, why can't I remember her name? The girl who Alexis Bledel plays, escape. He helped her escape. Because she gets assigned to him and he knows what happened. So she got, after she, I don't remember what she did to get punished, but essentially she came back. Oh, she got caught having an affair with one of the Marthas. Because okay. And so they sent her to the colonies, and then she came back from the colonies because they needed more handmaids. And after that, they assigned her to this guy. Oh no, sorry, they castrated her first.
Yeah.
Whatever the equivalent to that is for a woman.
Female genital mutilation.
Yes. And then they assigned her to this guy. So I've read a lot of articles that compare this guy to the creator of the atomic bomb, which is essentially like he creates it and it's a masterpiece and it's brilliance, and then he steps back and he's like, what have I done? And I think that, like, they can find a lot of depth in this character and do a lot with him, so I'm excited for that, because obviously the book ends before he's even thought up.
That'll be interesting. I need to finish it. I should just...
It's a lot.
I should make that my next show.
It is a lot. It's an emotionally taxing show to watch.
I know. That's why I've been avoiding it.
One of the parts that really bugs me, though, is there's, like, so much... they're all hypocrites. All the men in it are hypocrites. Like, how they... Oh, I don't know if you saw this either. You must have. Where he takes June to that club.
Yeah, I saw... Or that was in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there are prostitutes and stuff. And they're preaching all of this bullshit to everyone else, but, you know, they're rich and powerful men, and they run the country, so they can do whatever the hell they want. That's another parallel that I think really bothers me.
That's not even a stretch at all.
It's not a stretch.
That straight happens every day.
It's also like... It's not just, like, really religious people, too, that do it. Like, they preach being faithful to your partner and whatever, and then they go off and do horrible things and are racist and whatever. But, like, that's the case with leaders that are supposed to be, like, set great examples and be good people, and they preach to everyone to do good things, and then they go off and have mistresses and steal and embezzle, and definitely not a stretch. So I think that's why that part bothers me a lot. Yeah. But that's actually a role within Gilead, is being a prostitute. They call them Jezebels.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that from the book too, and that's a biblical reference.
Is it?
Yes, there's an evil queen in the Bible named Jezebel. She's an adulteress, and I believe she's a murderer. So, Jezebel, she's a bad girl.
That's wild. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes.
It's okay.
Oh, why do you think that they give them their commander's name?
Give them...
Like, she's of Fred, because her commander's name is Fred.
Yeah. So...
Is it just, like, supposed to be, like, a thing of ownership?
I think so,
Like, to show ownership?
Yes, definitely.
I think that there are, like... I don't like to look at it this way, but, like, there are a lot of ways they could have structured that society better so they got less people trying to rebel against it. Like, they literally stripped those people of any identity and any freedom, and then expect them to be like, yeah, I'll comply with the system. I think that if they had thought about it a little bit more and done it a little bit, like the beginning part of it, when they were first introducing the idea to society, it was very subtle. And it was, people almost didn't notice they were slowly having their liberties stripped away. But then once they had, like, fully taken over, they were like, oh, well, say goodbye to your identity and your person, practically.
Yeah. And, like, obviously that works out for a while, but not forever.
Yeah.
For the government. I think they just probably get too greedy, and then they underestimate the